So what do you guys think this is?
Going off of what we just talked about, which won't be on the show.
This is how you want to start it? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
I got a tushy.
Hey, there you go.
Join the Tushy Club.
And this episode is brought to you by Tushy.
No, it's not.
I really wish it was.
We do love them.
But my asshole is no longer under siege.
Dude, I'm so... Now that you have one, how elated would you have been if it was a gift, if it was gifted to you? I honestly think something like a tushy or a bidet is truly one of the most beautiful gifts you can give a person, especially if that person doesn't already appreciate how incredible a bidet can be.
But Kyla doesn't. Kyla's like offended by it.
Can we rewind? Can we rewind for a second? What do you mean by your asshole is under siege?
It was under siege.
From what?
Toilet paper.
Oh,
the abrasiveness of toilet paper, and I got a hairy butthole, so it's like I'm compounding abrasions on top of each other.
Okay, now carry on with the fact that Kyla doesn't like it.
Well, I got to chime in here. A lot of the females in my life that I have talked to about bidets, they're okay. This can't be, if you're listening to this and you're afraid of OBGYN or you're any kind of like physician that works in the bits, please tell me because I don't believe this is true, but if I'm wrong, please tell me. But I have been told by people who are afraid to use it is that they think that
poo-poo particles.
Poop is going to be shot into their vagina. Yeah. Now, I don't have to worry about that because if I get poop on my dick, it's really hard for that to go inside my pee-pee hole. Mm-hmm. And that would probably be bad, but that's not something I have to worry about. But I get it. I get that that's like kind of a fear, but that's not how water works.
Yeah, it's not how water works.
That's the thing I don't understand.
And it's not how your vagina works.
It's not like I don't walk out of there with like
now, we don't have vaginas, so we don't know what we're talking about.
But that's how easy it is to say that that's not how it works because it's so obvious. I don't even need to have one to know.
Right. Now, if we're wrong, please inform us. Letters at sickboypodcast.com. I can't believe this is how we're starting the podcast.
No, we're not because I don't walk out of there with like poo particles
I don't think we're
smeared over my ball sack.
No, exactly.
No.
And like and arguably the ball sack would be closer to the stream of the tushy.
Yeah. I got clean water all over my balls.
This was the thing that I said. I said, like, say you covered your hand in mud and then you took a hose and you sprayed the hose on your hand. The mud doesn't just spread all over your clothing and get in your eye and up your nose.
I mean, it could, I guess.
Yeah, but like not really. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's like if you go to a car wash with one of those like super hardcore pressure washers,
which is essentially what a tushy is. That thing's got fucking
got some pressure.
And your car is covered in dirt, like you've just been off-roading, and you are standing next to it wearing a white t-shirt. Are you worried at all that you're going to get some brown on your white t-shirt?
No, I don't think I am.
I might.
I think I'm worried.
I'm worried about it.
I'm worried about you put it that way.
I'm worried about it getting wet.
Women or people with vaginas should not be using tushy.
Okay, but wait. Here's another question though. Are you worried about the brown getting in your mouth?
No, because my mouth is closed.
Right, and so is your vagina.
So people with vaginas
right?
should be actually totally okay with using tushies. I tell you, man, this is a roller coaster for me.
Science, guys.
Anyway, the discomfort that I carried the discomfort that I've been carrying around my asshole for the last 2 years is now gone.
Yeah. It really is like a revolutionary product.
And
really
guys, the thing is, if somebody with a vagina is genuinely concerned about getting brown in their vagina, then they can just Joey the toilet.
Yeah.
What's Joey the toilet?
You know, like a Joey, like a baby kangaroo. So like if the toilet is like the mom, you just reverse around and and then hang on to the front like that.
Right.
And then you just use the tushy.
Right.
No, dude, the tushy has a fucking thing that you can angle it to the front bum or the back bum.
You can.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
You can.
I've never used it.
If it's all the way forward, it hits my balls.
The angle function is not is not as. I wish it had more range.
Yeah,
Depends. I think it depends on the bowl you have.
Right.
Like your bowl might actually
be getting in the way.
Yeah. Oh, don't know.
Hey,
What, you want to get cuddly, bud?
Thanks, bud.
Listen, that's not how I thought we were going to start the podcast, but I'm glad we started that way because it cheered me up. I'm having a really shitty week, and I put this. This has nothing to do with Sick Boy, nothing to do with health, nothing to do with science. But the way I'm going to tie this to this week's episode, which is I want to watch this just to cheer me up, selfishly. But we just had a wonderful conversation recently with Melanie, one of our patrons, our longtime patrons. Mm-hmm. Her episode will be coming out soon. We're really excited for people to hear it. Mel is a fantastic nurse practitioner down in the U.S. And one of the things that Mel had said about what makes her job so worth it, and the things that never fail to make her, continuously fall in love with her work, is the things that children say and do. Mm-hmm. And this was something that popped up in my feed recently that I want it just for a little pick me up, a little cheer me up, and something that I know Brian's going to love.
Let's go, Dad.
So this is a 4-year-old. The parents of this 4-year-old hooked him up with a lav mic.
Oh, yes, ready, Dad. Someone's in our secret path. This way. He'll slip. I won't
snowboard.
fall. Maybe I will. That's okay. Because we all fall.
I know that song,
yeah. Let's go down this big old hill.
Oh my God.
Wee woo! Wee woo!
Wee woo!
Oh my God, you guys.
That's way too much.
He said, hey, what kind of dinosaur are you?
Powdersaurus!
Powdersaurus.
He's stuck.
Taylor, does this make you excited?
He said, I'm a Stuckosaurus.
Dude, yeah. Dude,
God.
it makes me so excited. Kyla had an ultrasound like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I was talking to her on the phone right before we started recording.
Crazy.
That's cool.
All is well.
Does it look like just a full-on human now?
You can't even see. It's too big to see. It's like if you sit too close. If you sit in the front row of the movie theater.
Oh yeah.
Why is there a front row of the movie theater?
I don't know.
I mean, why is the front row where it is?
Yeah, right. Because money.
Like the front row should be like
revenue.
It's pretty bad.
It should be like a quarter of the way back in the theater.
It should be discounted.
No. What they should be is there should only be 2 rows. They should be quite distant from each other, and they should have pods similar to those sweet pods in first class. And so you're literally like,
yes,
it's a full recliner. So you're just laying on your almost like completely horizontal.
They should be doing something. Well, I think
I would, if that was the case, I'd be like, yo, we go in front row.
Yeah,
this one?
I think the fault lies with the patrons because they need to kick up more of a fuss about how shitty it is. Yeah. Like too many people just accept the front row.
You know what? It should be stacked. They stack them higher, like more like straight up, straight down.
Yeah, like the Globe Theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you go to like really big theaters or like IMAX, like you don't even see that there's a person sitting in front of you because they're like below your feet.
Yeah, but then the front row sucks even harder.
Yeah, well, I think they fixed that problem in IMAX. I don't think you can get too close in IMAX.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I think they thought of that with IMAX. They were like, "Yo, people are paying top dollar for this. We're not going to sit them so close."
You know what's funny though about that?
Let's move on to something relevant to the podcast.
No, but just wait 1 sec.
Well, I mean, this all came up because my baby is too big now to see.
wait. The interesting thing about the front row though is like, isn't it funny that you go to a movie theater so the screen feels bigger? But like there is really a sweet spot at how big the screen is, because if you're in the front row, it's like, whoa, dude, it's so much bigger because you're right
it's
there.
It's too big.
But it's too big.
I don't want to have a neck problem at the end of the movie.
So you want to be further back.
Probably an ear problem too, because you're so big so close to those big speakers, guys, hidden here and here and here.
That's why streaming services are going to take out movie theaters.
We're not talking about DAOs, Brian. So here we go. First patient in UK given vaccine for cancer in pioneering clinical research trial.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. A Merseyside man.
Can you repeat that headline?
Yeah. So the first patient in the UK has been given a vaccine for cancer in pioneering clinical research trial. So this guy is from Merseyside. He's a man who's become the first UK to receive a vaccine that is hoped will stop his recurring head and neck cancer from returning.
You want to bet it's an mRNA vaccine?
Head and neck cancer.
Let's find out.
It probably is.
I actually haven't read this yet, so this is the first time reading it. In a clinical research trial, which may help bring further groundbreaking treatments for the disease. This was brought to us by our friend Megs in our Discord, which you can join and contribute to the podcast if you wish. You can find that link in the episode description. The clinical research team at the Clattenbridge Cancer Center has given patient Graham Booth, such a UK name, Graham Booth, an injection of a therapy tailor-made to his personal DNA.
Yeah, so it's
How wild is that?
mRNA.
No. Did you not hear what I just said?
It's not mRNA. 'Cause that's
He got an injection of a therapy that is tailor-made to his own personal DNA and designed to help his own immune system ward off cancer permanently.
I don't know enough about it. It could be mRNA, though.
Is that a CRISPR?
Maybe,
is that a
but
euphemism for CRISPR? Is it like, hey,
we don't.
CRISPR?
We aren't qualified to
Yeah, we
answer
don't
this.
fucking know that. But I mean, I know the mRNA vaccine I got was the same one that you got. If we both got the Pfizer.
Yeah, I mean,
but this one is specifically like bespoke.
Yeah. It just, I'm just saying it could use messenger RNA as the vehicle to make those changes.
Yeah, Graham first had head and neck cancer in 2011. That is so broad to me. Head and neck cancer. What does that mean? And then it returned 4 times, each time meaning he needed grueling treatment, including facial surgery, reconstruction, and radiotherapy. He is now hoping this new treatment, part of the transgene clinical research study, will mean it does not come back. A dad of 5, Graham is 54, will have a year-long course of immunotherapy injections in a bid to keep him cancer-free, part of a research project designed to reduce deaths and recurrence in head and neck cancers, including the throat, neck, mouth, and tongue. Okay, I see.
So crazy.
Graham of West Kirkby said he was not worried about being the first person in the UK to receive this pioneering treatment, and that, quote, it opened new doorways, which gave him hope that the cancer would not come back, Graham said. I like that he said that about a vaccine that hasn't been around for a long time. It's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, but he's not being forced to get it, is he?
Graham said, quote, when I had my first treatment in 2011, I was under the impression that the cancer would not return. My biggest fear was realized in 2016 when it came back, and then in 2019, and then 2 cases in 2021. So this guy's just been fucking beat down by cancer continuously. Quote, last year I had the feeling of the cancer progressing and there were not a lot of options left. This clinical trial has opened new doorways and gives me a bit of hope that my cancer won't come back. And this could open doorways for other people. I'm hopefully looking at a brighter future. A bit of hope that it never returns again, which would mean the world to my family and everyone around me.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the chief investigator for the UK trial, Professor Christian Ottenmeisner, a consultant medical oncologist at the Clattenburg Cancer Center, and professor of immuno-oncology at the University of Liverpool, said, quote, it's a really exciting day in this important and potentially game-changing research. To have reached the stage of a patient receiving this treatment that only a few years ago was thought of as science fiction is truly amazing. That's pretty fucking cool.
That is crazy.
You imagine being that, it must be like, this episode hasn't come out yet, but Dr. Chris Honey, it must be so, the feeling must be so wild to be some sort of physician or some sort of scientist where you are a part of some sort of groundbreaking technology or groundbreaking discovery in your field. That must just be... Yeah. I can't imagine what that would feel like.
I think they're pretty common in cancer. I mean, this sounds like it's kind of taken to another level, and I think that's by way of using the word vaccine in the way that we understand vaccine. It seems very preventative, although this was not preventative. This is a response to something that we know he has. And treating something that he has, which was our understanding when we talked to I can't remember his name now, but the Harvard researcher
Bruce
Zetter about how mRNA has been being worked on in studies and trials and stuff for 20 to 30 years. And now with COVID, it's kind of like they rolled the dice isn't the way to put it, but they decided to use it in humans for the first time. And now that we have used it in humans, it's like, oh, we've now opened the door because of this shitty thing, this worldwide pandemic. We've now opened the door to use this technology in ways that, never wouldn't have ever been accessible if this shitty thing didn't come along and force our hand to use this technology that was kind of like waiting in the wings for a use that was really important. So, this will probably, if this ends up working, because it's been administered. Obviously there's, things done to test whether it would work and everything, or to a certain degree. So they're hoping that it'll work. And I wonder what kind of advancements will come from
That's
it.
a crazy thing, because then imagine donuts eating that tree. Imagine that, like, you get cancer and then it's still so interesting to me that they don't use the word cured for cancer. And I understand.
It's just too much of a risk.
Like, why say cure when,
because of the
really, like,
I think,
is anyone cured of cancer? Like,
yeah,
we're all just going to get it at some point.
I have a reason for that.
Once you've had it.
So, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience with my mom. Like, she is cured of cancer. She does not have any cancer cells in her body. And I think the biggest toll that cancer took on my mom was not her physical health, even though it was serious. I mean, she had, like, her reproductive organs removed.
Yeah.
She no longer pees the same way that she used to. It took a massive physical toll on her. But even from in her own words, like, it was even more traumatic mentally. And so when you have somebody who has gone through this incredibly traumatic experience, and there are no longer those cells in their body that will wreak that havoc on them, I think for some people, and maybe for more people than not, being told that you're cured will probably give you some type of mental relief.
Yeah, but
the thing is that
that's short-sighted.
There's no way for us to know that.
In what way?
Well, because there's no guarantee that your mother will never contract cancer again.
And cure,
but there's no guarantee
and
for anybody. That
yes, but
won't.
cure carries with it the idea
I'll never have this
get
again.
it again.
I don't think it doesn't to me.
Oh,
It
most
does-
certainly, dude.
it
If someone
does to
today
most
said you're
people.
cured of CF, and then I got CF 5 years from now, I'd be like, who's the motherfucker that lied to me?
Really, I'm really
Yeah,
surprised
100%.
because I would never take it that way personally. If you guys,
Well,
if
I mean,
you guys
what's
both feel
the definition of cure?
Yeah,
I
look it up.
think if it's not a part of the definition, I think the most popular interpretation of cure is that you can't get it again.
Cure. An English rock band formed in 1978 in West Sussex. Throughout numerous lineup changes since the band's formation, guitarist, lead vocalist, and singer-songwriter Robert Smith has written.
So if you said
Hold on, I got the wrong
it
definition.
might carry with it a short-term or long-term mental health benefit because you're giving that person. But if they interpret it as I'll never get this again, which I think is more likely than not for most people.
No,
and then they end up getting cancer again, even if it's a totally different type of cancer.
I thought cured.
You know
meant
what, though,
that
Bri?
you've been cured of the problem, which meaning that you had an ailment and you no longer. have it.
Yeah, Brian. You know what? You are right. Cure, recovery or relief from a disease, to restore to health, soundness, or normality, to bring about recovery from. I mean,
So obviously, I mean, so we're wrong on the
it's
definition.
a little more broad. Yeah.
Where's the so? Let's
It
ask
doesn't really
people-
matter what
let's ask-
we. Yeah, it
Let's
matters.
ask people though to tell us
Yeah.
social media or write us letters at sickboypodcast.com and
So-
tell us what your interpretation of cure is, because I think that's important as to whether you use the word or not.
I think there is a medical reason why we don't say, like in my mom's case, I think there's a medical reason why they're still averse to saying cured.
I think the medical reason is recurrence. Is it not?
I don't know, and maybe we should have somebody on to talk more.
I feel like
specifically about this because
I feel
my
like we've
mom
had someone
does
on
not-
who's actually said that, who is an oncologist of some sort. But we should look into that.
Well, you know, one thing that when you brought up the story, I thought of this because this popped up in my notifications today, where they are using the word cure. Is and we may have touched on this on the podcast before. A woman is cured of HIV using a novel treatment. She's the third person ever to be cured of HIV.
But she could get HIV again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
For sure.
Yeah, maybe. I'm more so just bringing this up that it's that she doesn't have HIV anymore, not necessarily in the context of the.
But for her to get her to get HIV again, she would have to be infected with the virus. So like,
there's like preventative measures.
Whereas the thing with cancer is like, I mean, really,
you can't do anything.
You're not going to just stumble into cancer.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
I mean, we all have cancer cells in our bodies
exactly.
right now. But the thing is, and just to stay on that point that I really wanted to make there was, I don't think it's to me, it's not a matter of what is physically happening in that case.
It's more of a
it's more so
piece
how
of
do
mental
we,
clarity.
because to me, and this is my experience in talking to people, I know that if I had cancer and my cancer was put into remission and they removed all the cancerous cells and they told me that I was good, I was going to have to come back and check again in 5 years or whatever. To me, using the word remission in that sense makes me fearful and worried about that 5-year checkup. And
I get
it does. But if you say you're cured right now,
yeah.
then it would make me probably feel better personally.
Yeah.
And that's my personal feeling about it.
Listen to this. I just read the first couple lines of the first couple paragraphs of this, and it's really interesting because it says a woman of mixed race appears to be the third person ever to be cured of HIV using a new transplant method involving umbilical cord blood that opens up the possibility of curing more people of diverse racial backgrounds than was previously possible. Scientists announced Tuesday, and the reason for that it was like more racially specific, or it wasn't broad. It says because cord blood is more widely available than adult stem cells, typically used in bone marrow transplants, and does not need to be matched as closely to the recipient. Most donors in registries are of Caucasian origin, so allowing for only a partial match has the potential to cure dozens of Americans who have both HIV and cancer each year, scientists said. So obviously bone marrow transplant, people who are donating bone marrow transplants sounds like they're overwhelmingly white. And if you need like a really close DNA match, then the marrow isn't a lot of the marrow transplants aren't going to be useful to, people who aren't white. So
interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Here's something that's also extraordinarily interesting. Man goes into hospital with hernia, but doctors find female genitalia. So a man went into a hospital for a hernia operation, which ended up the doctors found that he actually had female genitalia. He was a 67-year-old.
He didn't know?
Nope. He was a 67-year-old from Kosovo. He was undergoing surgery after complaining of swelling in his groin, which he had for over a decade when doctors made the discovery. According to the Urology Case Reports Journal, the dad of 3 had been born with only one descended testicle, like Donut. And doctors diagnosed him with inguinal hernia. Inguinal? INGUINAL.
Inguinal?
Inguinal? Yeah, maybe inguinal hernia. This is when the tissue pokes through the groin at the top of the inner thigh. However, on closer inspection, surgeons found that the curious mass was in fact hiding a uterus, a cervix, fallopian tube, and ovary, as well as an undescended testicle. So the testy was up there too, but along with all these other things.
Did he have a wiener too? Like he had his normal...
male
genitalia as well outside?
Yeah, he was just a normal...
Wow.
I mean, on the outside, normal-looking man, just didn't have one testicle.
Dude, you think about that. Like
he's had 3 children. He's
all of that. Like he's had that his whole life. So
yes,
like that happened when he was in a womb.
So what
this how the cells are developing.
Yeah, what this is called is he was born intersex. Intersex is a general term used for a variety of conditions in which a person is born with a reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't seem to fit the typical definition of female or male. So, for example, a person might be born appearing to be female on the outside, but having mostly male typical anatomy on the inside.
Mm.
Or a person may be born with genitals that seem to be in between the usual male and female types. For example, a girl may be born with a noticeably large clitoris or lacking a vaginal opening, or a boy might be born with a notably small penis or with a scrotum that is divided so that it has formed more like a labia.
Wow.
Or a person may be born with mosaic genetics, so that some of her cells have XX chromosomes and some of them have XY chromosomes. So this man was born intersex, but had no idea. And oftentimes people who are intersex, I shouldn't say oftentimes, but it is not uncommon for people who are intersex to sometimes never have any idea. Even, sometimes intersex isn't discovered until someone is... until their autopsy, so like someone dies of old age, and during their autopsy they find, oh wow, this person is actually intersex.
I wonder
it's
if it comes with.
It's incredible to think about how many unique and different people there are on this planet.
Yeah,
like it's so interesting that we're born, like we are brought up usually in school, at least here, like thinking that there's sort of like two options for people. And then
very
like,
binary thinking.
As you grow up, you start to realize, like, holy fuck, there's just so many different people out there.
This man specifically later was diagnosed with an incredibly rare condition known as persistent Mullerian duct syndrome, PDMS. Only a couple of hundred cases of the condition have ever been reported. It occurs when men develop female reproductive organs as well as their scrotum and penis. According to the report, it's the result of the early stages of the womb, the Mullerian duct, failing to break down during a male's development. During the surgery, doctors removed the mass, which contained the atrophic testicle, uterus, and fallopian tubes, as well as 4 tumors. The report concluded persistent Mullerian duct syndrome is a rare form of male pseudohermaphroditism detected coincidentally during surgical operation on crypto.com. Cryptochitism or inguinal hernia.
Sorry.
Ovarian tissue is well attached to the testes, and epidemis, also located in other places resembling to a tumor of these structures. Vascular and tubular structures are often not well detached from uterus and cervix. In these cases, it is better not to perform a hysterectomy in order to avoid damage of vascularization of testes and ductus. In case if uterus remains in abnormal cavity, there is no increased risk of pathology changes.
I wonder what kind of I mean, I think any illness, not that that's an illness, but any finding that would be a significant event in that person's life.
Oh,
of going,
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
going, holy shit, I've got this mass that has a cervix and fallopian tubes and shit. So obviously there's a mental impact. I wonder if there would be, I wonder what kind of like identity issues would arise in that sense of going like, I've lived a man, I feel like a man, but now I learned that I've got this basically like ball of all these female genitalia things, reproductive parts going on in my body. Like I wonder what that
could be really comforting in the sense that like maybe there are things that that person experienced in their life where they were like, oh fuck, I have no idea why I feel this way or why I exhibit these types of behaviors.
Like maybe there was like hormonal hormonally driven things in their life that didn't seem to make any sense to them.
Yeah.
At one point, maybe because they're getting, because
this is all speculation, but even if there wasn't that, like I'm putting myself in this situation. If that happened to me, I think I would come out of that situation and go, whoa.
Yeah, totally.
That was wild. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like it's nothing more than like I don't think it would fuck with my identity. I don't think it would make me question it. I would just go, like it would be no different than me going, dudes, turns out I've got like teeth growing in my
It's so funny because my frame of reference and thinking of that when you say that today is like I think of like learning about how I have ADHD and then thinking about all of the past experiences that I've had and be like, oh well fuck, that's what that was.
Yeah, right.
And
I wonder if this guy was like, oh, that's why every month I was just having debilitating fucking.
I was just bleeding out of my dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to me it was comforting because I'm like, oh, now I have some type like I feel like there's an explanation for like why I felt that way, and I thought I was crazy before or whatever.
And I think there's also I think that's a possibility. I think yours is a possibility. I think what you said, Jerry, I think is a possibility. And I think that some people, when something like that might happen, they like think that it should change the way that they feel about themselves when really they don't. Like they're going, I don't feel any different, but I feel like I should feel different because I just got this news that's crazy news.
It's kind of perfect. I mean, it's sort of meta in the way that it's like, everybody experiences the world differently, both physically by this person's experience and, situationally by whatever your experience or references are for that, then you're probably going to take it a different way.
I mean, one thing's for sure. It explained a bunch of.
No, it's not. No, actually, you know what, Brian? It's not okay. Actually, I have a really big problem with it.
They should feel a specific way.
They should feel specifically, and it should be according to how I feel about it.
What's fucked up is that some people think.
Some
that
people
way.
think.
Oh,
that
we're
way.
gonna get an email. We're gonna get an email about this for sure.
This is not okay.
But it definitely
Sarcasm, folks.
It would definitely probably explain some discomfort. This guy thinking he had a hernia the entire time.
Or it would
really,
explain, it could be explained by the fact that they didn't say their Hail Marys when they went to confession.
Yeah.
Because
hey, don't even go there. Don't you dare use the Lord's name.
I mean,
in vain.
well, when you don't repent,
that's the price you pay.
yeah.
You know what's crazy though is like 500 years ago. That's exactly. They would have been like, "This guy's a witch. Fucking get him."
You're going back. You don't need to go back that far to make that true statement.
40 years ago, they would have been like,
Yeah,
"This guy."
Speaking of witchery, here's some witchcraft right here. What do you think? What do you think this is?
It got hit by lightning.
Those
That's
are
a heart. That's
lungs.
Ooh, yes, that's a good idea.
The
Brachial.
I wanted to say
brachial.
brachiales.
I'm just gonna say a Venus brachial Venus.
So for folks that are listening and not watching, what we're looking at, it looks like doctors have removed the like brachial or the what do you call it, the bronchial.
Bronchial
tubes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bronchial.
You know what's funny is we both said brachial at the same time.
It looks like bronchial tubes pulled straight out of the lungs.
Yeah, it does.
Here's what this is.
It's not
Doctors
that.
at UC San Francisco Medical Center see a lot of things, of course, but even they were stunned by what we're about to show you. They were treating a 36-year-old man with end-stage heart failure. He began coughing so violently that he coughed up a 6-inch wide blood clot from his lungs in the near perfect shape of his right bronchial tree. That's right, that bright mess that looks like coral is a blood clot. The doctors were shocked, calling what happened extremely rare. Sadly, despite the doctor's best efforts, that man passed away a few days later.
Whoa,
the information and image coming from the New England Journal of Medicine.
Oh, dude, I thought they were going to say, and he felt totally fine afterwards.
No. So yeah, blood clot formed in the exact shape of a man's lung passage, and then he coughed the motherfucking thing up. The patient had come in with heart failure, as you heard there, and physicians at the University of California in San Francisco had an aggressive plan to help. Doctors inserted a heart pump through his leg artery to flood his organs with blood. But there's a downside to the strategy. Clots can form through its use. So doctors gave the unidentified man anticoagulants to thin his blood, but his airways began to seep. Quote, he had a slow bleed that was ongoing despite the medication. Gavit A. Woodward, a cardiothoracic surgeon fellow at the University Hospital, told Washington Post. Clots formed. The patient coughed them up over days, and they were cylindrical and minor at first, like small worms. Then the patient thundered a hard cough and ejected a blood red tangle measuring about 6 inches across. 6 inches across.
That's gigantic.
That's like that, dude.
I couldn't even imagine getting that up. Like having that, imagine that coming up through your
and think about
esophagus.
Think about how hard it needs to be to not come through that narrow space and like turn into a glob or break.
Yeah.
Woodward's team, along with fellow
Ugh.
physician George Weisthaler, carefully laid the clot out on a surgical towel. Can you imagine just being like, whoa, 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 like pulling that out of a fucking...
Be pretty satisfying.
You talked about
I wanted
doctors
to
making
say,
a
like,
discovery.
Obviously, the guy died, and that's super tragic. And he probably, like, I wouldn't imagine that he was really lucid or conscious for any of this. But
yeah, probably not.
man, if you were, can you imagine? Maybe it would hurt like crazy, but I would feel like that would be the most fucking satisfying feeling to cough something like that up.
Maybe he was conscious though, because like
maybe
and lucid
we don't
because
know. Yeah.
because I mean to cough like that, like to really cough up that much shit, I feel like you'd have to be trying.
Actually,
to get it out.
that's a good point.
I don't
Like,
know. I have no idea.
That's a good
but,
point.
like,
I don't know if you can
that's what I
cough
imagine,
unconscious. Like,
Are you trying to
don't
be
know.
unconscious and cough right
try
now?
it. Try to go unconscious and then cough. The fuck is that? He actually would fall asleep.
Oh my lord.
He actually would fall asleep that quick.
He would.
What they found was astonishing. The patient's blood had pooled in his right bronchial tree, part of the network where the air travels through the lungs, and solidified like jello, Woodward said, and it came out whole and intact. No one on our team has seen anything close to this, she said. The 36-year-old patient was intubated for 2 days after the incident, which happened recently. Woodward said, though she declined to give more details, citing patient privacy. Unfortunately, he died a week later, and his death was unrelated to that particular incident. He had a host of severe conditions, and clots coughed up were a side effect of the medication.
It was
Quote, it's beautiful anatomy, she said.
I was
It's a
gonna
sad
say,
story, but it is a very cool image. Dude, that is a crazy quote. It's beautiful anatomy. Super sad. He's dead as fuck. But god damn, that's a cool image. I mean, she's not wrong, but also like,
yeah.
if I was doing the interview, I'd be like,
It's
and I'm
honestly-
gonna keep this to myself.
Jared, can you read it again? But can you put it in, like, can you just make it sound like the funniest like the most ironic or funny version of that situation?
Sure. So they said, what do you think of this? This is wild, Dr. Warder. What do you think? And she goes, it is beautiful anatomy. It's a sad story, but it is a cool image.
Am I right?
Right?
Am I right?
Thank you, Ryerson Theater School, or ex-University Theater School. The clot did not help researchers advance medical knowledge, she said, but its photo has captivated people in ways medical journals articles often do not, since being published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The clot is also an opportunity to show how intricate the human body is, something everybody thought they knew until it was presented in a different way, like the impossibly detailed formations of fallen ice under a microscope. It's like the biggest snowflake you've ever seen, she said.
That's crazy.
I mean, just look at this fucking thing, though. Like, that is...
I kind of want to.
It looks like it should be in a museum.
I kind of want to pick out what they said there on the article there, where they said that this captures people in ways, like this has been able to capture people in ways that scientific studies or articles often don't. And I mean, I've through this podcast and just through like curiosity and stuff, like I've read a lot of studies, and I've learned over the years to understand how to read a study and like glean the information from it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what people in the do your own research are researching. I don't know if they're reading studies. And
I don't know if they're reading.
yeah, I think they're just thinking.
They're listening to their buddies.
But it does often strike me. It does often strike me that scientific studies, like, should there be you read a study, and then should they also put like the layman explanation of the key findings alongside a scientific study?
Well, I mean, I find like oftentimes the abstract does have that.
Yeah. It's almost like a little bit too brief, though. I find that it's like
it's very short.
It doesn't really give you like.
You want a TLDR.
No. What you want is and I mean this seriously. What you want is every medical journal that is published to be sent to like Vice, and for them to go, all right, Vice, write us a description of what you read here. And then Vice will be like, all right, cool, we're fucking cool. And then they fucking write it like these fucks like found a fucking big old hunk of fuck in this fucking guy's fuck.
Maybe.
And then they go, here you go. And then they go, oh, cool. This is cool. Vice wrote this.
My issue with that, and the reason why I wanted to go alongside the study and preferably be written by a scientist that can break it down in layman's terms, is that I think that one of the biggest issues over the last 2 years of this pandemic, where there have been a lot of studies, is those studies going through the filter of media and then not being fully understood because they go through a filter process and then it becomes more confusing.
I think the hard part though sometimes is that a lot of studies are just so specific that if you don't have scientific background, it's really hard for you to even understand, what they're analyzing.
And that's why I look at the world around us and I go, wow, man, scientific literacy has never been more important than it is right now, because we've got this thing that is very scientifically driven, that is the most divisive thing on planet Earth and is the most divisive thing since, I don't know, man, like the Vietnam War, maybe. Like, it's crazy divisive. And the ability to like, I'm more or less done with any form of news article trying to tell me what's going on scientifically. I'd like to listen and read them and then go, what are the sources that you cited? And then go and look at that myself, because I am at least half scientifically literate and can pull the key points.
Yeah, but the hard part too is like, I mean,
this is off topic, but
some studies aren't really,
on topic.
Even if they get published, might not really be a great representation of the actual research in its entirety. Like it's so which requires looking at a meta-analysis.
Yeah.
But this is supposed to be the role of public health, is to disseminate this important information to the general public. Like that's the role of public health. But I feel like the problem is, and I feel like it's the discourse around public health policy has been so politicized that it becomes polarizing.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to eliminate politics from it, which
is why people tune into this fucking show.
But I look at,
because they're like, you know what? I know where I can go to listen to fucking interesting shit without politics getting involved. But most of the time,
the interesting thing though is like when I think of the job that Dr. Strang has done here, I feel like for the most part, politics has not really influenced public health policy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would mostly agree with that.
But I feel like just the nature of having the premier of Nova Scotia sit next to him while he talks is like, well, there's the fucking political agenda, even though it was a liberal political representative before, and now it's a conservative. But people don't give a fuck. And that's why it's such a shit show.
I mean, I think the moral of it all is just do your own research.
But it is important.
We're just highlighting a problem.
It does highlight the importance of scientific literacy, because if you're not science literate, then you are
a fucking idiot.
You are at the mercy of somebody else telling you what's going on.
You're a dumb person.
No, but the reality, you don't have stupid human. No, I'm being serious. You don't have the capacity to read the source.
Yeah.
Because it's all a source, and then somebody tells you what the source said.
But also, I don't think we should have the expectation that the general public brushes up on their science so that they can read these articles. I think that we should have a more trustworthy public health system that
because there's people out there that are like, also, I don't care.
Because, I'm saying that because I think it's unrealistic to have the expectation that the majority of people will be able to spend the time and develop the scientific literacy to be able to go and read all of the latest articles being published about whatever current pandemic or thing that they need to know about is going on. And so therefore, I think the role of public health, I mean,
but you can't argue that it would be better if more people
for
knew.
sure it would be better.
It doesn't have to be everybody.
I totally agree. I think it's more important that people don't have fucking opinions about shit that they don't understand and go and broadcast those things. Like, hey, I think it's fine for people to have opinions
as
about
we
things,
do on this show every week.
But I'm not here telling
broadcasting our opinions on pretty much everything.
Yeah, no,
we do.
But I'm not here telling.
Yeah, but
I'm not here saying
talking,
different things than what public health is saying.
And you know what? The difference,
because I rely on the experts.
I know.
And the difference is that I'm saying this to you, and you're saying this to me, and we're saying it to each other. And it just so happens to go out, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about what I think.
Yeah,
it's that there's way too many people that are trying to force feed people their own opinions.
And not to talk about other podcasts again, like we always do, but like the Joe Rogan controversy. This is the issue though. Like, is the fact that he has an audience. It's like, I mean, you can look at this guy. If he didn't have an audience and he was sitting around his house saying the shit that he was saying to like a couple of his buddies, you'd probably be like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But like the fact that he is influencing, a good percentage of 11 million people a week, then maybe it is more important that we consider the things that he's saying and try to educate people that some of the shit that he's saying is not true.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just my hot take.
Yeah, I could go. I don't want to.
Let's move on
because I get deep.
Yeah,
we don't want to.
I don't want to go deep.
And also, we shouldn't be fucking talking shit about Taylor's idol on the show, especially with
it's not my idol.
That's why this is a great podcast, because you get a diversity of opinions on these.
Especially if you don't want to answer too many emails.
See,
we just don't let Taylor have that opinion.
If you make jokes like that, then you're gonna make me. Because then I feel like I need. I feel like I need to do it.
You know what though? Let's think about the audience and think about what's interesting to talk about, because this is boring as fuck. So what do you guys think this is?
I don't think that was boring at all.
Penis pump. A wine opener.
A penis wine opener. Penis. Oh, it's a sounding device.
Oh.
It's not a wine sounder?
Wine sounder.
So I describe to the listeners what you're looking at, because some of the people don't watch on YouTube.
It looks like
no one.
A cool see-through wine opener with the wine openers. If you're just listening, the wine openers that have like the arms that like
the wings.
When you open them up and down, it looks like they're a person flapping their arm wings.
I used to play with it a lot as a kid.
Yeah, it looks like one of those, but it's like clear and see-through and kind of looks cool.
Well, it isn't a wine opener. Here, I'll play this video. This might help a little bit. This is a demonstration of how it's used.
Dude, how often is this music used in this type of video?
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you screw on like a CO2 capsule onto the end or something.
That is kind of, doesn't it? No, do you have any ideas now? Hey, describe what you're seeing here.
So they're screwing something onto the see-through wine opener.
Yeah.
And
it's attached to like a piece of foam.
There's a piece of foam around it. It's squeezed. Whoa! just what? Whoa. Okay, so he just took apart the wine opener.
I'm so confused.
And it does look like there's a rod in it that could be a sounding device. What was that?
Yeah. So I got Brian to add that sound effect in. He still doesn't know what this is.
Also, I added the tutorial of music too.
Oh, of course
yeah, the music. So do you have any idea now what it could be used for?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. This is really fun. This is a fun little game.
For the people who are listening, we were watching this doctor-looking guy. There was he had
obviously
scrubs on and medical gloves
on,
and it was like a very clean environment, a sterile environment, and they were screwing something onto the end of the clear wine opener, and then they prepped it to do something, and then when they squeezed the wine opener handles or wings, then somebody started to scream in pain. Yeah. But then at the end they opened it up and there was like a rod sort of going through the middle of the wine.
So the thing that you didn't catch there is that
I saw the hole at the end.
Yeah, there was a hole in the foam pad that he connected it to.
Yeah.
Which wasn't there before he put it on, right? So that
Punctured through.
he
Is it,
punctured.
is it a pinching device?
So here,
of
let's
some
just
sort?
look at. Let's
Is
just
it, is
watch,
it the
let's-
way that catheters are inserted?
Let's
Oh,
what?
my.
Ooh, that's a pretty good. That's a. I like the way you're thinking. It's not right, but let's watch. Let's just watch it one more time. You can see one more time here.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
All right. Do you know what it is yet?
No.
All right. Well, here I got another question for you. We'll leave this alone for a second. Do you guys know what Alibaba is?
I am very familiar.
Yeah, it's a like an eBay basically store in China that you can buy cheap goods on.
So it's kind of like Amazon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
but,
sort of
marketplace.
like Amazon.
Yeah.
but China's version of Amazon.
Yeah.
Alibaba's, yeah.
All right.
AliExpress is like part of Alibaba, right?
AliExpress is one of the they have many sites. They
Well, I have-
all-
okay,
they
so
all
here-
operate
this
like
question-
Amazon-ish.
This
sites.
question is very specific. How does Alibaba differ from Amazon?
There's a lot of like wholesale like you can buy it in major bulk from like Chinese manufacturers.
Okay. This might make more sense then. So this was this came across.
From one of their sites, but they like
This is specifically Alibaba doc fucking
Yeah.
com or
You
whatever.
you could drop ship this.
Okay.
This
So,
item, whatever this is.
AliExpress is more the
This
site
product that we're looking at is from Alibaba.com or whatever the website is. This came across my Reddit and I thought this to be very interesting. So here's the product here. It is a circumcision tool.
Holy fuck, man, dude.
Whoa. No.
This is direct from the Alibaba website. You can see here. It shows what is that, and then you have normal foreskin, which looks very happy. Foreskin that's too long, which looks a little worried, and then you have phimosis, which is a very sad penis.
Wait, but that kind of looks like, I mean, normal foreskin.
Because
That's circumcised penis.
no, it looks like it's pulled back.
You just pull back a little. So this product here, is meant to perform circumcisions. Now, here's the crazy
Oh.
thing: it's on sale on Alibaba, which anyone can purchase.
I don't like it.
Is that not fucking wild?
Yeah.
So you know when you go to a website and you click on like a subject, and then there's like you get a drop down menu of like the things under that subject,
Yeah.
and it kind of like goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So this circumcision tool is under medical equipment that you can buy on
I
Alibaba.
think you just shouldn't be
But
able to buy that.
Here's what.
Any
So
medical
here's
equipment.
how. Just for context of how,
because I don't know anything about Alibaba
how
or like
how some of it works. The bulk items, how they work. So you would get so let's say there's a lot of shit out there that you buy that's made at a manufacturing facility in China, and that manufacturing facility in China has agreements with brands all over the world to sell that thing to them, and then they manufacture it, they ship it to the brand, and then the brand puts branding on it.
Like Gulpy Dog.
Like Gulpy Dog. So like, for example, there are hard case cycling travel cases, for example, that if I were to go to the brand site, then I would have to pay like $600 or $700. On AliExpress, you get the same you can get the same product that just hasn't shipped to the brand yet to put their branding on it, but it's the same product otherwise, and I can get it for like $100 on AliExpress because it's just coming out of a mold. And if they don't have specific exclusive rights to that product being manufactured, then it can be sold on AliExpress for like way less money.
In fact, this
So-
is where you would find, like, if you scroll your Instagram feed, 90% of the ads that you see, there's the product that's being marketed to you is
Drop ship.
probably some drop shipped product that
From
you could find on
Alibaba.
AliExpress.com
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
the branding
Yeah.
for
and
a tenth of the price.
and one of the reasons why it can be such a great site is because you can get things that the only thing that they're missing on it is like a sticker that says it's
Yeah.
from a company.
So on the Alibaba website, this particular product, which is called New Circumcision Instruments Set Qianjing Circumcision Device, which is on sale for $25 if you buy one or 99. Between one and 99, it's $100 or $25. Between 100 of them and 499 of them, they drop down to $20.
Mhm.
This is for anybody who's interested in doing 500 circumcisions in a week. 500 to 999 pieces, they're $19. And anything over $1,000, you get a sweet fucking deal. $18
See,
for these fucking things.
I would argue, Jared, that they could do, if you bought 500, you could do way more than 500 circumcisions
Well, no.
in a week because you could empower clinics to do these circumcisions.
Yeah.
Not real clinics.
So these are one-time
places.
use. These are,
are they?
yeah, they're
Okay.
one-time use.
They could be like, this could be a tool that a medical supply company sells.
Well,
And then they just, and then this is what this is. This is like,
I'm so glad you brought that up.
they just
because
haven't
here
shipped it to-
is this tool being used in an actual medical situation. You can see here we got a penis being measured. If you want to see this video, you're going to have to join our Discord, and we will post this in
That's such a
because we can't
cute,
show this
petite
on
little
YouTube. That is a little teeny wiener, and so you're seeing this. This. Oh wow!
we're really.
This is the first time I've seen a circumcision, an adult
are we
circumcision
going
on
to
video.
see this for real?
Yeah, for
Holy
real. We're
shit,
going to see
dude.
it used. Dude, look at that.
Whoa.
Look how they're stretching that foreskin out.
Whoa.
Now they insert this thing
Whoa.
into, right?
Whoa.
Yeah. Now I wonder, as when I was 17 or 16,
Holy
if this is what they did to my dick. Like, did they use this thing that is on sale on Alibaba for $18 if you buy 1,000 or more? All right, here we go.
I
Ready for
don't
this?
like- See,
They go through.
the thing I
They
really
tighten
didn't-
it. Hold on, and then they squeeze it, and watch what happens. 3, 2, 1, release.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, so the
We just
reason
watched
Right, you
a
gotta-
circumcision.
Yeah, you got to blur that out. That
So-
can't be on YouTube.
so one of the
I'll try to remember.
so one of the things that I'm thinking here is that, I mean, as soon as that goes to a medical equipment company,
Yep.
that's going to then be that they're the middleman. That's then going to be sold to, hospitals, whatever, for, like a significant amount more. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I think that medical equipment should go through a middleman because of like a quality control. But I guess if there's quality control at the manufacturing level, then it's not really. But
Dude, there's not.
So here,
quality.
I'm
If
on-
you're buying
hold on.
a circumcision tool from the same place I was drop shipping dog water bottles from.
Well, here's
that's where it gets.
Hold on, hold
but
on,
that's
hold on,
where
hold
it gets
on.
manufactured anyway.
Hold on,
That
hold
could
on.
be the exact same product I'm just saying that could
One
be the
second
exact same
here.
product that
One
just
second.
goes to a company, then it's branded, and then
totally,
it goes to
but
a-
it should definitely go.
Just
through
hold on a
quality
second.
control
All right,
place.
look, I'm on there now. I'm on the
the
website.
quality control happens at the manufacturing.
All industries, all right? Health and medical, under that, professional medical devices, under that, surgical instruments, under that, anorectal / urology surgery equipments. All right, now I'm on that site. I have the prices here. I actually can't buy it.
Oh.
In order for me to buy this, I have to click contact supplier
Oh, there you go. So that is what it is.
for
Yeah.
pricing, customization, or other inquiries.
This is just, dude, Alibaba, AliExpress. It is just a bulk manufacturing, like wholesale supply.
You actually have to disclose if you have any
You ha-
financial.
You should do that right now, actually. Because
interest. In
yeah,
this.
this we might get,
Yeah.
we might get sued.
I am invested in Alibaba. That's why I know. That's why I know what the company does and how it works.
That's why we're profiling them this week.
Quite a
I'm
coincidence, but they do support Western Union, PayPal, and looks like Bitcoin.
No, I'm just saying, like that is what. Like,
See, I had no idea that AliExpress went down this entire route. It's wild to me that you can go. I just want to go to surgical instruments and just see what else is there. You have
anything, and you can get anything.
surgical table accessory, operating table accessory, oil pump. This is so
That's
wild
crazy.
to me. Wow, the circumcision thing is on the front page of this. QDMed surgical neuro power system with irrigation and touch. Like, this is fucking so wild to me.
so you probably have to contact for medical equipment. You probably have to contact them and be a clinic or like something registered or licensed
Yeah, medical
Professional.
equipment, micro ENT, spine, neuro, electric drill, surgical system.
Because like this is what people like. This is what people.
$3,000.
I think this is what people don't understand really is that this shit. No matter like if you go to your doctor, like this is where this shit is coming from. It's being manufactured somewhere at a plant in China because China largely developed their economy off of a massive manufacturing capacity in the 80s and 90s, and that's where everything. That's just where it's coming from.
So
Anyway.
wild. There's an
It depends.
entire section called circumcision with 3,869 products available. That is fucking wild.
But the thing is that there are also medical equipment companies that are in Canada that make these things here too.
Yeah. I'm sure there are.
And so and like my personal bias in this is like because I don't know, because I've like never been to China and I don't know what it would be like going to a manufacturing facility there. It makes me feel uneasy because of the unknown, not because of any.
Don't get me wrong.
like-
There are for sure bad actors in the manufacturing
Bad
business
actors.
in China. But the idea that like, that notion that's been floated that like made in China is bad is not correct. Like it's just flat not correct. But we think about it in that context a lot of times because of the ways that there are for sure, bad manufacturing process, bad labor practices, not manufacturing processes.
Yeah, it depends too. Like I read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the Nike story, and he talks a lot about like going to, specifically he's talking a lot about Japan because that's where the first shoes were manufactured. But like it really depends on the factory. Like it's a sort of case by case thing. Like there's a lot of factories, like if you're purely going to pay the lowest price for something, then certainly there's being costs cut in different aspects of the production process, which could be, labor related. It could be the quality. So just by the nature of there being so many factories, for sure you'll find good ones and bad ones. It's just hard to know where they're coming from. And sometimes you're misled by where things are coming from. Like when I was selling dog water bottles online,
you weren't telling them that you were drop shipping it from a Chinese manufacturer.
Yeah, I was telling they're being shipped from somewhere in the United States.
Yeah.
And I was selling to people in the United States.
So, and just to be clear, AliExpress is they connect. They're a merchant platform. So just the same way that an independent seller sells their products through Amazon, that's what AliExpress serves as. So AliExpress isn't selling these. Somebody has a merchant. So that manufacturer of that penis cutter, they have an account with AliExpress as a merchant, and then they go on and sell their products via AliExpress.
The thing I want to know
Riveting.
is, one, are there reviews?
They all have, it's straight up 11 out of 10.
And
these things work. They work really well. And again, folks, $18.99 if you want to buy 1,000 or more.
the thing I really didn't like about that video that we watched is that the motion
you
of
want to
it
buy 1,000 or more.
just looks
They actually
so
do. They have
aggressive.
2 reviews. Hold on. This review is from
The owner of the company.
the 2 United States reviews. They blank out the name. So I have J *** I, which could be Jamiroquai. Great products. Very nice and professional. Thanks. And then we have P *** S, which could be like pussy.
yeah.
The product is safe and reliable. The clinical use effect is good, and the surgical stapler industry is a good seller. So they both gave 2 5-star ratings.
Wow.
And you know how you know they're not fake? Because there's only 2 of them.
That's right.
Because if they were fake, then there'd be
That's
a lot,
right.
right?
No, maybe. Yeah, you can't really tell. I mean, like the first 2 could be fake too, because it could just be the owner
Yeah.
putting one.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm always skeptical of reviews no matter where you're
Look
reading.
at this photo, though, of the same fucking thing. Brian, if you could just add this to the video, it'd be great. They put the tool next to a banana that's been circumcised.
Wow.
Wow. Let's
Dude,
move right
that's
along.
amazing.
Let's move right along.
The thing I
into-
really hated about it though was the aggressive movement at which it happened.
You know what I'd like to see?
It's Ochi.
I'd like to see a hand, like a a circumcision by knife in hand, just by comparison.
Yeah, or a bris
Yeah.
Right.
by mouth.
Yeah, I want to go to a bris.
By mouth.
Would you rather have the tool?
They cut it though, right?
Cut your foreskin.
At a
or-
bris, they cut it and then they bite
They
it.
cut it with their teeth.
No, I think they cut it and then they bite it
No,
off
dude.
with their teeth.
Straight up, they go
No, I don't think so, dude. They're not gnawing it off. Nah, dude.
Do you,
like corn.
the last question before we
if
move
some
on
of
from
our,
this.
if any of our, anyone,
We really
got
gotta
to
move
If
on.
somebody,
Yeah.
if any of our Jewish listeners can tune us up on the way that a bris works, that'd be really helpful.
The last.
I don't think we have a very big Orthodox Jew.
I don't think you have to be
fan
Orthodox.
base.
I don't
Oh,
think-
dude, bris is
They
not
do a
happening.
bris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, bris is
Oh, is
definitely
it?
Orthodox shit.
is it?
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
I thought that it was kind of like a. I mean,
Circumcision, I don't think is.
No,
But
circumcision
a
isn't.
bris is straight up some Orthodox shit.
Okay, well,
It
I'm
seems
unsure
like to
about
me,
that. You seem to be quite sure, so I'll take your word for it. But again,
I'm not,
I'm somewhere in the middle.
but I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say I'm pretty damn sure
it sounds like you got to be.
that
It
old
seems
grown men biting off fucking heads of dicks
It seems like
is
something you got to
an
be
Orthodox
all in
thing.
on.
Yeah,
You know,
you
guys-
are super into the religion
You know,
to be going that far.
guys, I had another question that I want to ask about this, but I just really want to move on.
Let's
from
move
the
on.
circumcision.
Let's go right into
That
the
is-
fucking weirdest episode of What the Hell we've ever done.
How you say every time it's going to be the weirdest episode? And actually, you always deliver. So
this is crazy. Look at this right here. What is that?
that
Ooh,
is
that
a
is a
ladybug in a
ladybug.
bum.
That is a ladybug in a fucking colon.
You know what it kind of looks like? It looks like an animation. It looks like the.
Opening scene to ants.
Animations. It looks like no. It looks like
the opening scene of Sick Boy.
the animations at the end of the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. It does kind of look like
know what I
some
mean?
concept art. Yeah. So that's a ladybug inside a man's colon. This is from IFL Science. When venturing into the human colon, there are a few things gastroenterologists might expect to see: a tumor, scarring, ulcers, a little bit of poop. All of that is commonplace, but sometimes investigating into the bowel reveals more surprising inhabitants. A clinical team who published their findings in the ACG Case Reports Journal in 2019 could certainly attest to this, as they stumbled upon a ladybug inside the colon of a patient. We humans love to eat, and while evolution has blessed us with sophisticated systems for processing food, in many kinks and complexities mean the old poop chute can sometimes fall into disrepair. Donut, shut up. Thankfully, modern medicine has reached a point by which we can jump and take a look at our internal plumbing in a procedure known as a colonoscopy. The uncomfortable but sometimes life-saving investigation sees a camera sent upstream into the colon through the anus, weaving around the full length of the large intestine. And here it can find cancer, evidence of disease, and evidently ladybugs.
Wait, can we just? How did the ladybug get in there?
Well,
I'm so confused. Like, do we think that before we know, do we think that it came from the top down, or do you think it came from the bottom up?
top down 100% for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I would have it seems you're confident, and I feel like you know.
I haven't read. I'm only reading this.
Yeah,
for the
but
first
what if
time.
they gaped the night before and the opening was just really loose? You didn't think about that, did you?
I don't.
I'm also.
no,
I don't
'cause
even
that's
know how
not how it
gaping
works,
has
dude.
to be.
You don't just like when
What
you-
if it
like,
was a-
I know.
what
I
if
know
it
that
was a
you've
f-
got a big thing for gape.
What if
and,
it-
and then it's like
Wait,
all you watch.
What if it was a fist gape?
Wait, are you asking if they are at Ram Ranch the day before?
Anyone that's had one knows that preparing for a colonoscopy is grueling work. In order to get the best images, the bowel needs to be as empty as possible. And as such, getting the picture-perfect colon is a process of abstinence and purging.
The picture perfect colon.
The exact cocktail used to clear the stage for our Ladybug's guest star appearance was polyethylene glycol, an osmotic laxative used to treat constipation. The researchers on the illuminating colonoscopy hypothesized that the ladybug may have survived to such a late stage. So this thing was alive in there. May have survived the late stage digestion process looking quite fresh thanks to a sped up journey through the bowels facilitated by the poop inducing goop. So
Oh,
maybe
wow.
you're right. It actually did go up the asshole. The patient's colonoscopy preparation was 1 gallon of polyethylene glycol the evening before colonoscopy. And the colonoscopy examination was otherwise normal. His colonoscopy preparation may have helped the bug to escape from digestive enzymes in the stomach. No. Okay.
Oh, it went
okay.
down. Yeah,
so it went
okay.
down.
That makes sense.
So he swallowed this thing. The stuff that they shot up into him allowed this thing to like slip into his colon.
And it also like he didn't have a lot of digestive, like a lot of the digestive shit. around.
Yeah. There wasn't like a bunch of shit in there, like because he was already like fasting or whatever.
Yeah.
As for how the ladybug came to be inside the 59-year-old man in the first place, the jury's still out. But it's likely it slipped in while the man was sleeping.
I hate that
Oh,
shit.
I don't like that. In the paper, the authors identified it as Harmonia exridius, which was introduced to North America as by means of pest control back in the early 1900s.
Imagine there's someone laying in bed right now listening to this podcast
And about to go to sleep.
And
And,
about to go to
knowing
sleep.
that a fucking lady, and not just a ladybug, because guys, I got one more. From the GIE journal, which is the Gastrointestinal Endoscopy Journal, during a screening colonoscopy, a cockroach,
Oh, fuck that, dude.
look at this, a
No.
cockroach was encountered in the transverse colon of a 51-year-old woman with a history of schizophrenia. It was lesser than 1 centimeter in size and had a green aqueous substance sticking to its legs.
Was it moving?
Despite extreme caution during the extraction, the cockroach disintegrated and was removed by using suction. The patient denied any knowledge of the accidental ingestion or history of pica. The most plausible explanation was that inadvertent intake of the cockroach while the patient was consuming green gelatin shortly before the procedure. The patient was
Ew.
completely asymptomatic, and it was
Oh.
decided that no stool studies were warranted.
That's
Jesus.
so crazy. It looked like it was on a water slide, and it looked kind of like it could be an episode of the Magic School Bus.
Totally.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
cockroaches, like, you think, I mean, ladybugs are just so,
They're
I think,
so
I
sweet.
think so universally
Sweet,
loved
Yeah.
that you think about, oh, you know, a ladybug crawls in my mouth, whatever. A cockroach, though, man,
You know what though?
that shit'll give you nightmares.
You know what
Yeah.
though? Actually, fuck ladybugs.
Really,
Because
why?
Hey.
like the idea of ladybugs are cute, but imagine you had one of those blown up to like car size.
That would be so
Hey,
scary.
You know what's actually interesting is that in the
Wouldn't it?
there's a season.
Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
That's an episode of
Yeah.
Starship
Yeah.
Troopers, dude.
No, there's a when I went to school at Brooks, in our dorm was like, you know where my dorm was. It was like way
Yeah.
back at the back, and we were like near the forest line.
I can picture a bunch of
And-
bugs around.
And I can't remember when it was. I think it was in the spring. We had like a crazy ladybug infestation where there was on our floor. It was we were all the dorm rooms were on the second floor of the building. There was upwards of 5,000 of them
No,
in the hallway.
no.
Yeah, it was like totally bonkers.
What were they doing?
They were all just like on the window, on the emergency exit, and on like hovering around the light that was like right there, and like near the stairs to go down and leave the dorm. So like thousands of them. It was crazy.
What did you do?
I can't remember. Somebody at the school took care of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they like gassed them or anything. I think they tried to net them, a lot of them. And
I feel like
put them out.
the life cycle of them and like whatever they're doing there, like whatever brought all of them to be there.
It was a specific reason. I remember they knew why they came,
Yeah.
and then they told us, and it was like, oh, of course. But now I can't remember what it is.
They're probably protesting their freedom.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, you're probably right.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this very interesting and varied episode. We
very.
will be back on Monday and again on Wednesday, and then again the following Friday from today. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy the podcast, show us your support. Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review. Spotify, give us a rating on the mobile app. And I don't know if you listen to like any other like this Podcast Addict or anything like that. Like, there's probably a rating somewhere. So
Someone told us that the other day, and we were like,
That's right.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So give us your ratings. Let us know what you think. If you want to join the conversations, you can do that at Discord. And you can find the Discord link. It's open to the public now. So you can do that in the episode show notes or just go to our Instagram and check out our link in the bio there.
And letters at sickboypodcast.com. Let us know a few things. We want to know about a bris. Is that a Orthodox Judaism thing or not?
I could probably
and what was the other thing we wanted to know about?
We wanted to
Cure.
know
What's your interpretation of the word cure? Do you think that it's me? Do you take it as, oh, I'm fine for now? Or do you think that it is, I can never get this again?
what we really want to know is, why don't doctors say you're cured when you no longer have cancer?
Right.
That's really,
And I know that I've been told about
me
that
too.
before, but
you
I
have to be
can't.
reminded.
I need to be reminded because all I do is read, and I don't have enough room to keep everything.
Yeah.
So letters at sickboypodcast.com. And if you want to be a guest on the show, go to sickboypodcast.com/contact. Jer looks like he's very surprised.
I found an article and I'm going to save it for next week.
Okay, sounds
So,
good.
Wow.
If you feel like you can't get enough of Sick Boy Podcast, we are doing a live show
Right.
next week,
Hell,
On
motherfucking
the-
yeah.
which is
February 23rd,
which is a Wednesday.
Yep.
Wednesday
Yep.
at 7 p.m. Atlantic,
You know
6
it.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bingo.
And you can find out more about that through the link in the show notes here, or on any of our social accounts if you want to find out about that. But really just join us on Discord, because if you're on Discord, you'll really never not know about anything. And
Yeah,
also,
you'll
if you'd
never
like to
not know.
share your Wordle scores,
Oh, dude, we got a hardcore Wordle
we got
channel.
a hardcore Wordle
Is Wordle
channel.
still free? I never got into it, guys.
Dude, I
Yeah.
think it will always be free. I don't think New York Times
Yeah.
will put a price on it.
Anyway,
And if they do, there's it's already open source, so there's going to be tons of sites that go, "Hey, fuck New York Times, we got Wordle for free right here."
so we will, I guess we can continue this conversation offline.
Yeah.
But we love you all, and thanks to Rich O'Coin, who does the theme music, to Donovan, who helps us with our Monday episodes, to Jer, Taylor. I love doing this with you guys. Jeff Lonis, you're the man. We love you.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.